Welcome to the What a Play podcast. We are your hosts, Jacob and Lucas. Lucas, how's your day going?
Doing good. How about you?
It's good? There might be a little bit of air in the background. We'll try and talk as loud as we can. We understand we've been off for a couple months. When you get to this point in the NFL season, there's not a whole lot to talk about. You get through free agency, you get through the draft, and then it's dead zone. So that's probably how we'll do it. We'll get through the season, we'll get through the draft, and then take off a couple months. So we first begin as we got some big name players that got paid. Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love becoming the highest paid quarterbacks. Now, from my personal opinion, Jordan Love had one half of a good year. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think is that good. So for them to get paid, I understand it's their turn. But to me, I don't like it. I don't like it. This is like Daniel Jones getting $40 million. I don't like it. You could spend money anywhere else. Why are you going to do that? It doesn't make sense to me. At least not at this time. Don't pay him at this time or give him a smaller contract. But you're going to give him a big time contract but for bad play?
I agree. I agree when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. Okay. I agree when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's shown anything to get paid at all. But I mean, do you just want to find another time, Jacob? Or
No, I can do it. We can do it.
I mean,
go ahead.
Are you just gonna cut up that part? We're just gonna have to wait.
No, we're good.
Well, I can't do it right now when they're talking.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna finish eating. I'm gonna go.
Is there like a time tomorrow when he's gone?
Let's go. It's just.
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe we should just do the games.
Okay, let's go do the games first, and then if we have time, we'll go back.
Okay, you want to just restart it?
So, no, we can't restart. We can't restart, Lucas. We gotta just go.
You can't just stop it and make it.
No, we gotta go. That's kind of the way we are.
Okay. Are you just gonna be able to cut that out?
If we mess it up, it's in. Let's go.
Are you gonna be able to cut it out?
No.
Why can't you stop the call and redo one?
Because then the Rumble thing ends and I can't do it. I can't get back in right away. I mean, I can, but it'll take a while, and we can just hit it all. I think.
I guess.
So let's do the recap from the Ravens Chiefs. First of all, they had a 20-minute delay because of thunderstorms.
Oh, that's what that was. I was wondering why it started.
Yeah, it was a 20-minute delay, so we missed out on 20 minutes. Then we finally cut in, and it was a better game than I thought. I thought it was going to be a bad game, but I had the Ravens winning this game. My prediction was the Ravens would win. And the one positive I have here for the Ravens was Derrick Henry looked pretty good in the time that he played. He didn't play a lot, which I was a little annoyed by. Justice Hill, who I actually have on my fantasy team, he's a reserve player. I did not activate him. Very disappointed. He was a reserve player because I was like, I'm going to play Blake Corum and Tony Pollard and let's go. And I'm like, Justice Hill. I had a decent enough game. I would have been good.
Yeah.
So that was a struggle. the one bad thing I'm concerned about from the Ravens, and it's not bad as in it won't get fixed as the year goes along. They got two new starters in guards because they had to replace Simpson, who left, and I can't remember the other one. They put two guys in there, and I felt so bad for them. Chris Jones was like, it was like he was picking Halloween candy. It was ridiculous. He was like, "Okay, your turn. I'm just gonna go against you now."
Mhm.
That's what he did. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I'm like, it was just a nightmare, at least from the offensive line perspective.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, I definitely, I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed Lamar was definitely faster. I know he slimmed out. He looked good.
He did lose weight. He did
He
lose weight.
lost weight. I think the Ravens are going to be just fine. If you're a Ravens fan, I wouldn't worry at all. Likely looked really good as their tight end. It looks like he's more tight end one than Andrews is. I don't know if that's a one game thing. I don't know if that's going to be the writing on the wall for the rest of the season. But he looked very good. So, I mean, for Ravens fans, whatever. You got good tight end play wherever you go. Yeah, I think their online is an issue. Maybe it's going to take a couple weeks to gel and figure out the way the refs are calling games this year with illegal formation. Um, but I do think that the Ravens are still a good team and that they have nothing to really worry about. You play the Chiefs once, you have an idea of how they're going to play. The first game of the season. They have Xavier Worthy. Um, it's a different offense at least. So, um, yeah, you know how they're going to play now, and you're going to be better set when you play them again, because I'm sure they will play them again down the road.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. This is going to be the AFC Championship game again. I guarantee it. It will be a playoff game in either the divisional round or the championship round.
Yeah.
These two teams are too good. The quarterbacks are too talented. If the one thing I'm concerned about the Chiefs is that ground defense. I don't know if they have it.
The what?
Besides Chris
Sorry.
Jones, when they go against the ground game, they're
Hmm.
not there.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned. Like Isaiah Likely had a great game. Are they gonna just struggle against tight ends? Is that gonna be their thing? A vertical tight end, is that their problem?
Yeah.
That's concerned because you can say whatever you want about the defense. Travis Kelce, I didn't think played well, but I thought he did okay.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing.
But
He was doing okay last season, so I mean, there's going to be some regression, I believe.
100%, I agree with that. I'm just that
But
ground defense. The offense looks good. It looks good. Helps
yeah,
when you have speed, but it looks good.
yeah,
The ground defense might be a problem again, and that has to be fixed by Spags.
yeah, I agree.
So let's move on to as the Chiefs had won the game 27-20. And before we actually move on out of the game, let's move to the final drive the Chiefs had. They go and it's a third down. Mahomes throws it. Great play by the Ravens linebacker Simpson, who he's never really played linebacker before. He's a safety. He's a tall guy. He's very tall and he's very athletic. Never played linebacker before. He played linebacker, I think, 1 year in college. He's really good at it. And he makes a athletic play, knocks the ball up in the air. I don't care what anyone says, like, oh, that's a great play by Mahomes, which is what the announcer said, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Give credit to the young kid here. I mean, that was an athletic play, because otherwise, if he doesn't make that play, Kelce's walking for a first down, and game's over. You don't get that opportunity in the end zone. I don't care.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely agree. Back to the Travis Kelce thing though. I just want to add, like, just kind of what happened to Gronk later back in the season, because obviously later in his career, there's obviously a lot of comparisons between Gronkowski's career and Kelce's. But I mean, like if you're a Kelsey fan or Taylor Swift fan or whatever, like this is what's going to be the new normal. He's not going to be as explosive as he was, even though he had a great game in the Super Bowl. I'll give him that. He had a down season, I'd say, but he had he had a good run in the playoffs. But don't be surprised if Kelsey's not what he was 3 years ago. Like this is what happens with tight ends later in their career.
He turns 35 in October.
That's
Don't be
just what
surprised.
happens. Yeah.
Which is what happens. Older guys who get injured, those guys, they just start going down a little bit, but then they have a good game or a couple good games, and you're like, oh, okay, we're fine. That's
Right.
how it happens. I'll give you a great example. One of my favorite players was Larry Fitzgerald. I love Larry. Has more tackles than actually dropped passes. That's a real stat. I love him. He didn't look good the last 2 years, and then he was done. Happens. Different times, but still happens.
Football. Yep.
It's football. Let's move on to the Patriots and Bengals. 8.5 is the spread when I wrote it down. Ja'Marr Chase is expected to go without a contract. All indication says they're still going to try to work a contract in the year. When people said that, the Patriots have a chance to win, I'm like, did the offense die on the Bengals?
Yeah.
What happened? Like, I'm sorry. I know you're a Patriots fan, Lucas. But Ja'Marr Chase or not, I don't trust them. I just don't.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, if you're a Patriots fan and you're going into this game thinking you have a chance, or we have a chance, is pretty outrageous. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any game that I'm going to go into the game thinking we have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who we're playing. We're not a good, even with Drake May at quarterback, if he would start at some point in the season. You can't go in with any expectation to win any game. We're not a good team. We have a terrible O-line. We don't have a good quarterback as our starting quarterback. I don't care who won the quarterback battle. Drake May won the quarterback battle. We don't want Drake May to get hurt. That's why Jacoby Brissett is a starting quarterback, which is fine. I'm not opposed to that. Honestly, my opinion when it came to that was whatever Gerard Mayo thinks is best. If it was starting Drake May, I was for that. And if it was starting Jacoby Brissett, which is what we're doing, I'm also okay with that. Because there were pros and cons to both. I'm okay with Jacoby Brissett. I am interested to see how that O-line plays. I don't have high expectations. I have very low expectations, actually. But, I think we're going to lose probably more than 8.5, if that's what the spread was. This is not going to be. I don't believe this is going to be a close game. I believe this is going to be a showcase for Joe Burrow of, like, you think the Chiefs are going to run away with the AFC, like, we have something to say.
I want to make another point. This was said in the broadcast early before the game actually started, to be honest with you. They were already counting Mahomes, Kelsey, and Andy Reid in the Hall of Fame. Didn't know that you could be in the Hall of Fame when you're playing. Apparently you can be.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. We never talked about he was in the Hall of Fame. But okay.
Future Hall of Famer. Yeah.
They said that no one beat Mahomes in the playoffs. Joe Burrow did it. Nearly did it twice. Yep. Should have done it twice. If we're really being honest with you. So, just saying. No, I'm interested to see what this offense looks like without Brian Callahan, who's now in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly cannot wait, but I'm with you, Lucas. I don't agree. The defensive line is gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, Matt Judon's gone. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's go. It's the offensive line, specifically left tackle. I don't know. And I don't know how coverage will be. But other than that, I'm like, this is a rebuild. You know it. It's a long process. You got a new coach. You got to draft. You got to make some moves. Sometimes it's saying goodbye to a lot of people you like, but it is what it is. And my score prediction is Bengals win, and I actually had the Patriots covering a little bit, only because it's week 1, and I thought the spread was a little on the big side. I think it was Bengals 20, and I think I said Patriots 14 because I was just like, all right, 14 sounds reasonable enough anyway.
Yeah, we'll hope for 14. If I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna do Patriots 14. I'm gonna do Bengals 35. I think Joe Burrow's gonna have a really good game, and I think Jamar Chase is gonna have a good game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great game if he gets his contract settled.
Oh, I mean, this is the issue with like Cincinnati and Dallas. They both do these weird things about how they say they gotta do better, they gotta do better, and then they ball out, and then you're like, yeah, well, we don't really want to pay him like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating. It is what it is when you're a Cowboys fan. Which we talk about the Cowboys next. Cowboys and at Browns. Browns favored by 2.5. Don't look into that really. That's it's similar to the Chiefs and the 49ers who are favored by 3.5. That's just you guys play at our house kind of thing. We're rooting for you because you're at home kind of thing. That's what they do. Tom Brady's first game. That's a big melting pot right here. Tom Brady's first game is in the dog pound or whatever they want to call it now because they changed the name again.
Oh,
you should actually look it up. I don't know what the name is. It's something bank something.
is it as bad?
But anyway.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a 20-year lease. I've never heard of a 20-year lease, but okay.
Mm.
Browns are favored by 2.5. This game is going to be fun. This is going to be a very matchup game. I can't wait. So you're going to have Myles Garrett against the rookie left tackle and Tyler Guyton. So that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb got a new contract, so he's ready to go. Amari Cooper revenge game. No Nick Chubb, which I'm kind of frustrated about. I love Nick Chubb. Get better soon, Nick. That's a really big thing. I just think this is coming down to the quarterbacks. This will be a final drive. Someone's either going to kick a field goal or score a touchdown, and that's it. No defense will really be played.
I think if it comes down to the quarterbacks, I think the Cowboys have the edge. I think Dak is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson at this stage. I think whose prime was better, Deshaun Watson's was, but or maybe Dak hasn't hit his prime, maybe Deshaun will. But I think in 2024, if it comes down to whose quarterback is better, who's gonna have the game-winning drive, I would say the Cowboys would have a better chance at that.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was going with this because I had said the score was, I said 24-20 Cowboys, only because this is going to be such an interesting game to watch, and it has to be like this is a Tom Brady game, okay? Where games are going to come down. We're going to go do the 2-minute drive, and let's go see what happens.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction, 24-20.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a fun football game for Brady to call as his first. Yeah, probably 21-20. Is that what you said?
I said 24-20.
24-20. I was thinking I had 21-20 in my head, and I think I'm going to go with that. I think it's definitely going to be a close game. I don't foresee it being, like offenses driving down the field every drive. I think this is going to be a defensive heavy game. Maybe even a touchdown comes off of a pick six. I wouldn't even be surprised. But yeah, I'm going to go 21-20. I'm going to go Cowboys over Browns. I think they're more of a well-rounded team compared to the Browns.
The Browns have a lot of their offensive linemen on the injury report. I think that's notable. They might have their right tackle play left tackle.
So you're saying Micah Parsons might have a day?
It's very possible. Zimmer has said that he's going to throw Micah everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited to see that defense, how they are. Because honestly, some of their playoff woes the Cowboys have had over the last few years, if they just had a fucking defense that would be able to hold Brock Purdy for a drive or two. It'll be the third quarter, and it's like, okay, this is a big drive that you need to stop, and the Cowboys defense just can't. So I'm actually excited to see what their defense looks like.
I'm excited too. So you got Cowboys 21-20. I got Cowboys 24-20. And that's pretty much what I have it. It's going to be one of those games. Brown football, man. It's just let's run the ball and let's see what happens on offense.
Yep.
Moving on to this is a fun game. I think this is the most exciting game of the weekend. And it comes Sunday Night Football. Lions, Rams in Detroit. A rematch of the wild card game. 3.5 for the Lions. This is, is there anything more exciting than watching Dan Campbell and Sean McVay on the sidelines? It is like the most exciting thing. They're more hyped than the players.
Did you see Dan Campbell's Applebee's commercial last night?
I did. Yeah. I watched that yesterday, and I very much laughed.
Yeah, I did too.
I very much laughed. I preferred it over the, what was it? I think it was Christian McCaffrey, but I'm not 100% sure. But I very much liked it. I like those little weird things that happen. It's amusing to me.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those games opposite of the Cowboys and Browns. There will be no defense. We're going. There's two players I want to watch in this game, and that is Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but Jameson Williams going to go. And I honestly think I might only be the one person saying this. No Aaron Donald. I think that's a problem. I don't know if they have anything besides him. I mean, he takes so. It's like we talked about Micah, Miles, Chris Jones last night. They do all the same things. They garner attention. You need 2-3 guys around them, and that makes everyone else play one-on-one. And that you can win those easily. Without Aaron Donald, not as easy. Just to let you know. I think Jared Verse is very good. Let's see how it works when they have to go 2-on-1, even 3-on-1 in some situations.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if Jared Goff can keep his play up to what it was last year. Obviously, that was not expected. I mean, the Lions were expected to be all right, but they weren't expected NFC Championship. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep up with that. But I'm just going to go straight into my prediction. I think the Rams are going to get their revenge from the playoff loss last year. I think Stafford's going to get his revenge in Detroit. I think that'll be a good way to start their season. A lot of, I think the Rams are going to be. I don't think enough people are talking about the Rams. Honestly, I think the Rams are going to be very good this year. They were very good last year. They were surprising, obviously, with Puka Nacua. That'll be interesting to see. I don't think he played a lot of games with Cooper Kupp last year, so it'll be interesting to see how they spread the ball around. And then obviously Kyren Williams will be interesting to see if they keep him as the. I believe he's the RB1, but they like to go running back by committee. I'm pretty sure, so it'll be interesting to see if he'll stay at the number one running back all throughout the season. But regardless, I'm going to go with the Rams 31-28.
I actually had a similar score, but I'm going the opposite way. I got the Lions winning this. I do believe the Rams will be better. Here's what I mean. The Rams, I never. Have you ever seen a faster turnaround for the Rams?
No.
Or any team? They go win a Super Bowl, and then you think, okay, they're going to be bad now. And they were bad for a year, and then, let's go. One half of the year, we weren't that great. But we almost beat the Eagles. We almost beat them. That was when the Eagles were like unstoppable. We nearly beat them.
No.
And then the next thing you know, we go against the 49ers. We weren't getting we weren't rolling over. We were doing some things here. And as the season got going a little, you start seeing, like, okay, this team's pretty good. And then they make the playoffs, and you're like, well, like, I said D'Amico Ryan should be the coach of the year last year because I was like, okay, they won, like, what, 2 games the year before?
Right.
And, like, Dan Campbell looked great as well. I'm like, Sean McVay, what a coaching job that was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, I think they'll be good. The Lions, now let's see what the Lions have to do with expectation. They never had expectation. They haven't had expectation since Barry. Okay? These are things that need to happen. So,
Yep.
I got the Lions winning, but I have to score 28-25.
Mm.
And I want to see what happens. This is going to be exciting. And the final game, Jets fans are going to lose their mind for 90 seconds. Okay? Their first drive for 90 seconds or minute 30, whatever happens first. And they've run 4 plays, minute 30. Well, they might hope Aaron Rodgers not enter the field before the end of the first quarter. They will be happy if they get through the first 10 minutes of the game and they're like, okay, Aaron Rodgers isn't on the field yet. We're all set.
If Aaron Rodgers runs out with the American flag, I don't know who the backup quarterback is of the Jets, but he better start getting ready. You better start getting some throws
Start loosening up. You gotta start loosening up a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
Get that arm loose a little. Let's go. Should Robert Saleh start getting ready? Can he do that? Can he just run on the field, give him a helmet, and let's go?
Put
I'd
him in
watch
as linebacker. Yeah.
I mean, why not? Linebacker's basically the quarterback of the defense. Why not?
Yeah.
Pitch the ball out. Let's go. You got Breece Hall. Let's go. 49ers are favored by 3.5. Look, the 49ers. I think they'll win this game. If this is the Jets, you have to try to win this game. Because this would make yourself so happy. Because it's not an easy schedule. And the 49ers, I think they'll miss Drake Greenlaw. I really do. No Drake Greenlaw. You lose your attitude. That's how I feel about it. You lose your guy who's got the attitude of, let's go. Let's mess them up a lot. To a point that they gotta be like, oh gosh, we gotta go against him again. Let's not do that. So it's gonna be an interesting game. It will be. I also feel bad for the Jets. They have to fly across country on a Monday night or on a Sunday night, and then fly back and hope that they're okay by Wednesday. That's a long flight. So I think if I remember correctly, I took the 49ers to win. But I made it a little respectable for the Jets because it would just be too funny if it was actually the Jets would do Jet kind of things.
Yeah.
But I think they've hit rock bottom so many times there is no more rocks to this bottom. They're just hitting like the salt of the earth at this point.
Yeah.
So I got 49ers winning. I don't remember the exact number I had. I think it was 45. Not 45. 35-28.
I also have the 49ers winning this game, and the way I see it playing out is I think the Jets are going to start slow. Obviously, they don't want Aaron Rodgers to tear his ACL. They're going to probably run the ball with Breece Hall the entire first drive. I wouldn't be surprised. But the way I see this playing out is that the 49ers are going to come out and they're going to play like the 49ers as the 49ers that have made the Super Bowl, I think 2 times in the last 5 years or something like that. And they're a great football team. They're probably the second best team in the NFL behind the Chiefs. So the 49ers are going to come out and they're going to play a great game, a well-rounded game. First to fourth quarter, they're going to be consistent. I see the Jets starting slow, and I see the Jets turning it around, probably maybe after halftime, and then you're going to see the Aaron Rodgers of old. You're going to see him clicking with Garrett Wilson. You're going to see Breece Hall getting big chunk plays. The defense is going to be more locked down. I think it's probably going to take them almost the whole game, I think, to get some rust off. And then you're going to start seeing some flashes of this team being like, okay, these guys might be real this year. But I think the 49ers are going to win this game. Yeah, 35-28 is a pretty good score. I don't know. To make it different, I'll go 38-21, 49ers.
I mean, it's one of those games that it's like really hard to predict because it's week 1, so there's like how much defense is going to be played,
Yep.
or how bad offense is going to be played, and then you go and you're like, okay, what about the flight? That's a long flight,
Mm-hmm.
and on a short week, those are hard to do, especially early in the year. So that's a hard thing to talk about. So let's do this. We're going to do our division predictions, okay? So Lucas's division is the AFC East. My division is the NFC East. Who do you have winning the AFC East?
I have the Jets. I have the Jets. I think I don't actually know who even the favorite is. I would assume the favorite's Miami. Going off, I mean, they have the best team. I would say Miami, and they've had a few years together. Aaron Rodgers played 5 snaps with the Jets last year, so I mean, like, there's not really much to look at. The Bills are not going to win the division. I think they'll be good. I don't think they're going to win the division. I wouldn't be surprised if 3 teams out of the AFC East make it to the playoffs: Bills, Jets, Dolphins. But I mean, listen, the Miami last year was great, but when it came to their big games, they never showed up. The only game they did was against Dallas. So I would say, yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets. I think they're going to get it together. It's going to take a couple of weeks. They might go 2-2, but I think they're going to go on a stretch, and I think they're going to come out of the AFC East.
When you were talking about the Patriots earlier, what's the record you have for them? Is it like 5-11 or better, or is it worse?
I would say I would be surprised if he won 4 games. I'm projecting a top 3 pick.
Okay. Do you have any? Do you think Miami, the Jets, and the Bills top 11? 11 games, or is it?
I think the Jets and Miami will. I don't think I would say the Bills would probably sit comfortably at 10-7, something like that.
Okay.
I think they're going to make the playoffs, the Bills. I'll say that. I think they'll sneak in. I think all 3 teams in the AFC East are going to make the playoffs. They're still all very good teams.
Okay. So the NFC East, very much the bottom part of that division is a mosh pit. It's one of those things that I don't think the Commanders are going to be that great. I think they'll be good, good enough, better than what they were, but it's not saying a whole lot. I think I like Jaden Daniels. I do. I don't know if he's better than Caleb Williams. I can't say that. I mean, in the Giants, I don't like the Giants. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're trying to do. I have no idea. So I'm not a fan of that. Again, it's between the Cowboys and Eagles. It's one of those things. It's like watching. It's kind of like I don't know. Have you ever watched? What was? I think the movie was called Grown Ups with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And they're showing like the 2 girls, and they're like, oh yeah, these are really, really pretty. And then there's the last one. You're like, oh okay, no, that makes more like sense. Like that's your kid or something like that. That's this, okay? That's pretty much this. It's Dallas and Philadelphia are like that, the top 2, and then the last 2 are like, okay, no, that's your kid. So it's one of those things. Talent wise, that goes to the Eagles. I think they're more talented. They have a better team. They're better built because Dallas chooses to do nothing a lot of the time.
Hmm.
But I'm so concerned of bringing in again another DC, bringing in another OC. That's 3 in 3 years for both sides. That's a lot. I don't care who you bring in. So, and they face Green Bay in about 2 hours in Brazil. So we kind of have to wait and see what happens here. But we all understand this. For the sake of argument, I think the wins goes to Dallas just because of how they scheduled up. But it's a
Okay.
tough schedule for both teams.
Yep.
I think Dallas just will be. I think the drop off for Dallas won't be as severe as the drop off for the Eagles. That's how I'll describe it. I think the Eagles, you started so perfectly last year, and then it fell apart. I don't know if they start perfectly again.
So you're
That's
thinking
why I'm saying Dallas might edge it.
okay, so you're thinking that the Eagles are going to perform how they were at the end of the season, got knocked out by the
To
Bucks in the
start,
playoffs.
to at
Okay.
least start.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Um,
and
I agree with
that's,
that.
so, and again, these two, it's going to go back to like week 18. If Dallas wins, they got the division. If Eagles win and Dallas loses, then they got it. It's going to be like that. And I predict that's for the next few years. Whether whoever anyone's quarterback is, that's just going to be the way it is. But I don't think Dallas will be as good. They'll go 11-6. I don't think they'll go 12-5. They'll go 11-6, but they'll be around the same area. Philadelphia might be 10-7, and then everyone else is maybe Washington gets 6 wins, and Giants might be lucky if they get 4 wins. And then we're talking about, does Brian Dable lose his job? Who's the quarterback? What are they doing in the run game? We're gonna have all that fun in March.
Yes. I agree with that. Yeah, I think Daniel Jones. Pretty sure there's an opt out. There's a perfect time for him to be cut. I think after the season, so expect that. I think the Commanders are not ready. Obviously, this year it's going to take a couple more draft picks, a couple more free agencies, pick up some guys. But I like what they got going on there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders edge out a win against the Cowboys this year. I think they might split. Just
I wouldn't be surprised either. It's one of those weird seasons also. Dallas faces Philadelphia late. Like
yes.
I think they only face the first game is in November.
Mm.
And the last game is like December 29th in Philadelphia. So it's one of those strange seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just gonna be an edge out at some point. Like I don't know how Philadelphia will start. That's because it's like Philadelphia and the Chiefs kind of were like the same last year. They just ended the year differently.
Yeah,
But it
exactly.
was like they were winning games, they just didn't win the way you were expecting them to win. I
Yeah,
guess.
I agree. I agree with that. And the Chiefs got hot at the right time. The Eagles couldn't get anything going, no momentum. And that probably comes down to coaching. One, you have Andy Reid. Two, you have Nick Sirianni, who's more, obviously the Chiefs. So, I agree with that. I think so. You think the Cowboys are going to come out hot? The one thing that I would say that the Cowboys need to do, they need to have a big statement win. I felt like even like Miami when they faced Miami last year, I want to say it was Christmas Eve. It was such a winnable game. Miami couldn't beat those teams, and Dallas was one of those teams that people viewed as like, okay, they're in the upper echelon. They're a really good team, and Miami found a way to win.
Right.
Games like that, the Cowboys need to win. They need.
Exactly.
I'm not
And
saying they
that's
need to be every great team, but they need to be able to hang their hat and be like, well, we beat the Packers. We beat them.
what exactly. But my thing is also like if you're Dallas, you have a lot of tough games this year,
Yeah.
especially at the start. You play Baltimore in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you in Cleveland week 1, if you find a way to win one of those games, we're all of a sudden better. You're better at that point. You're like, okay, we beat Cleveland even though they don't have Big Chuck. Well, we weren't expected to win the game. Same
Yeah.
thing with Baltimore. You're not expected to win. So if you did win, it's a good thing.
Yes.
Just hang your hat on that and roll.
Yep.
So before we go, Lucas, we need to talk about 2 things. Ayuk, AJ Terrell, Justin Jefferson, new contracts. Well deserved for those guys. Ayuk 4 for 120. Don't know why he hung out for so long in the sun for whatever reason. I mean, got 120. I thought he was waiting to try to match CeeDee Lamb. That's what I thought he was doing, and he ended up taking less, which is weird. AJ Terrell, I thought, has been really good at corner, so I understand that. And Justin Jefferson's Justin Jefferson. Anything you want to add to that, or is that a good
I did hear from
cover?
Falcons fans that AJ Terrell, they were like okay with the deal. I guess I mean, I haven't obviously been paying so much attention to AJ Terrell. Um, but yeah, I heard like he's a good player. There is just maybe one and the same. I wouldn't say Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't say that's comparable, but I would say maybe it's more comparable to what Jordan Love played good for half the season. I'm not saying AJ Terrell played good for half the season, but it's just one of those situations where the potential's there. Maybe they overpaid, but I mean, I'll leave that up to Falcons fans.
Yeah. Before we go, this was news that hit in Dallas pretty quick, and we were actually let's do this. Let's do this one, and then we'll do the Vicky Percival, and then we'll end it. So DeVon Bland suffers an injury to his foot, needs surgery. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. Unfortunate. When it happened is unfortunate because you wanted to ease in Trayvon Diggs. Now you have to go. It is what it is. It's one of those injuries that a stress fracture. You work too hard. I think that's not a terrible thing. I mean, it would be like, Lucas, you know this. You go to work and they say you work too hard. You take off 6 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's kind of like that, except you have to have surgery.
Yeah. I mean,
and finally, this was really sad. Vicky Percival, the young rookie wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, was shot on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening at a jewelry store. A young man, about 17 years old, goes into a jewelry store with a weapon. I don't know if security tried to stop him, if the owner tried to stop. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Percival tried to stop him. Gun went off, hit Percival in the chest. He's fine. Actually, 48 hours later, he was back in the gym lifting. And actually, yesterday, it was announced that he said Coach Shanahan, if they would allow him to, he would play. They won't allow him to, but if he was able to, he would play. So this is a tough guy. Also, the assailant was also shot, and he's fine. But a freak accident happens, but you're put in a situation like that. I don't even know how you prepare for that. That's one of those things I don't know how to prepare.
yeah. I mean, you can't prepare for something like that, and I'm glad he's okay. Obviously it's we'll just be excited to I hope he gets better first and foremost, but we'll be excited to see him back on the field, and hopefully it doesn't affect him in the future at all, and no lingering issues or anything like that. I hope he gets a full complete recovery and he gets back on the field and we can move on.
Well, it's like I feel like this is a very similar situation to Damar Hamlin, when everyone's just kind of like, we don't know exactly what happened. It just kind of happened,
Yeah.
and it's a freak accident. I mean, Damar Hamlin actually going to start week 1. He's going to play, actually, not run kickoff. So that's the first time in 2 years. But yeah, first of all, get well, man. We can't wait to see you on the football field. And just get better soon, and let's see what happens. But when he said that, oh, I could play this week if they would let me. They won't let me, but if I could, I would. I became a fan of this guy. I really did.
Absolutely.
I didn't watch Percival in college. He went to Florida, but I became a fan of his. And I enjoy tough players. I love the stories. Ricky Percival shot to the top. And I enjoy those things. So we're going to end it here as week 1 of the NFL season starts in about 2 hours for the Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers. And I can't wait to see what happens in that game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which the NFL, let's go, man. But if we do another international game, can we put it in a safer place, please?
Yeah, please.
Also with better timing. That's just a thought.
It's reminding me of WWE when they first went to Saudi Arabia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's
They couldn't get
basically
back-
this.
Yeah, they couldn't get back on
I'm
the plane,
terrified.
and it was I hope everyone gets home safe. And
All right.
yeah.
So, for the end of the What Play podcast, we are your hosts, Jacob and Lucas, and we will see you guys next week. Out.